everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome on Talk with Sana. And today I have a very special guest with us, Shereen Malherbe. And if you know her already, she's an author, she's a mom, and she has written amazing books. And today she is here for her new book, like two new books. One is a children's book and one is an adult fiction. And let's talk more with Shereen. We are so excited. Show us the new book and tell us what it is.
Well, assalamu alaikum everyone, and jazakallah khairan for having me, Sana. So I released two books and they came out on Monday, the 31st of January. The novel is the Land Beneath the Light, and it's a Palestinian reimagining of Jane Eyre. And it's set in Palestine, in one of the rural villages. And then we've also released my children's book, which follows the series, the Migrant Children's Range. The first one was The Girl Who Slept Under the Moon, and we followed it with The Girl Who Stitched the Stars, which is about non-uniform day at Noor's school. And Noor hasn't ever been to school without her uniform before, and the clothes she loves to wear are different. And it's her journey to find if she has the strength to wear the clothes that are important to her. And it's a celebration of Palestinian trees, which is the embroidery from Palestine, which has actually just been listed in December as a UNESCO Cultural Heritage. Wow. So it's now officially been recognised as part of the heritage of Palestine. So it really was, subhanAllah, a fantastic time to release a children's book celebrating trees, because it's now recognised for what it is, and that's a historical preservation of Palestinian culture, and very sort of female-centric as well. It's not just done by women, but it has been predominantly used by women in Palestine.
I've seen a lot of pictures, women wearing beautiful dresses with that kind of embroidery, and I can see some of your dresses as well.
Yes, the Palestinian designer.
Viewers, please watch your dress carefully. That's the embroidery.
Yes,
we just talked about.
It is all handmade as well, so it really does take a lot of time, and each individual.
I love as well. You really have to love it to do it.
You do, yeah. It's an art. It's like writing. It's something you've got to be passionate about, I think, to spend so much time doing it. But alhamdulillah, we've managed to do the children's book. We release them on the same day. The children's books, we release one every year, and the novel is something I've personally been working on for a couple of years now.
That's what I wanted to know, like how much time it took for you to write this novel.
Well, when I first started writing, my first book, Jasmine Falling, which is what most people know me for on writing in Palestine, that actually took me a good 5-6 years.
Actually, it took a long time. To this one. So
and after
I think
that,
it's also
like
a historical recording of the situations like 50 years back, 10 years back, 30 years back,
and then this third one, because this actually took the children. It's from having the idea every time we go back and write to publication. It is actually I lost my turnaround in terms of when I was writing this book as well. The reason that it's quicker, so many stories is so many lives just going under the radar and they're not being seen. And I think as women, structure we that I use for my writing now. So I'll plan it out. I'll have an idea and a concept, recognised, and for me, what I will do is I will sort of plan out lots of story arcs. And when I see how the women work, who are the characters, it's incredible. It's like sort of celebrating the beginning, the middle, and end, in the ordinary, because it's these people that literally hold up Palestine. Because if they weren't there, I got my children involved this time, because for me it was the motivation. So I wrote on our chalkboard the word count is 0, and I wanted to get it up to 50,000. It was really personal to me to explore as well. So I enjoyed it. It was intense, so it was really exciting. Something I felt that I had to do and build up. And obviously the first draft is nowhere near ready for public consumption, but it's just about getting. I think those words down to write and juggle other things alongside it, turning out that
I see really for the writers. I talk to so many of them, and
so once I've done that,
many of them have children and work and so many things.
And I let the book
but this love for writing,
my mind,
the consistency is there, that they write consistently. If they even take out 20 minutes per day, but they will write
what I was working on.
Exactly.
I mean, I tend to work before I was really happy with the sort of third or fourth draft. So it is something I think that you're driven to do. Because I do a lot of events for young writers quite secret until it was really ready to be read. And had some great opportunities to work with the Open University on their creative writing module. She said, we'd like to students and people at festivals who are new writers. And the question is, how do you do it? How do you get published? Private sort of idea. It's such a hard question to answer because working with the publisher, you've got to be so passionate about it that you would usually have at least a month, a few. You would write and write, even if it wasn't guaranteed. You find never a place that you would get published. You would still publish who wants it. It's got to be that kind of passion. To go down the self. Which is what we were saying about the. I didn't really get that break this time. Really want to do your art.
Yeah, mashallah, you're publishing with the same publisher I see
that are in the way.
The past 2 years. No, really, when I look at the women of Palestine, I feel like they're one of the strongest women in the world. But I think it's also like they know you better as an author, you know them better as a publisher, and you develop they're at the forefront of resistance, So yeah, both ways.
Yeah, I was actually surprisingly nervous. Like I think people assume, the village has its own path, but I honestly, you don't know that. Yeah, so each village has its own changes a lot. And when the women were business facts, how many books they releasing, what they're looking for, they would take their village pattern and they would wear that I wasn't confident so that people I still get that
like you cannot take the village out of me, when
yes, exactly, and feeling doesn't change. So you have really, that maybe gives you the momentum to carry on. Such an important part.
No, mashallah, I'm really happy for you how it's coming out, and and people are now coming to know you and your work and the books and everything.
This preservation and this history. So actually, before in both of these books, it feels like it's really quick, but actually I've been writing now for 11 years.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I mean, where have you come from? And really of Palestine. And when I was researching this year, but actually what happens is it's kind of
you have to say that year is very productive for me actually
stitched into dresses into trees.
I was working the same
women fled the villages and when it gains traction you just sort of just clothes on their back and when they arrive at villages as long as you can really and then generally you tend to get out there. It just takes some time. It takes the dresses bigger and to fit the women.
Mashallah, I'm really happy with how it's coming out for you, and then but Jasmine
on.
Falling will always remain special as the reader of your first book and getting connected with you,
really great
on your blog.
To have two books and I think it was nice because a lot of people have asked for a sequel to the older one. And I just felt
so great.
that
because you left there. The inspiration behind is amazing, but sometimes I still wonder more view of the characters or the stories.
I like it because the whole idea for me with literature, especially ones that represent Palestine, is that it's interpretive. So I'm going to read you the blurb on the back, and I don't want to tell my readers this is what you should feel, this is what you should expect, this is what happens. Khadija is a young girl, I like to leave it so that the reader has their own interpretation and their own feelings. So Jane Eyre, for anyone who isn't aware, it's me, the land beneath the light related one. It really is me moving on because we're back in Palestine.
I really love the cover of it.
There's many elements in Jane Eyre,
colors of it, and it really makes me curious, like what's inside. I really want to read
wanted to capture I mean the design of it is Islamic theology instead of Christian something theology. That we worked really hard on. What I found really interesting is that people don't say that Jane Eyre is Christian fiction, and because it's set in really heavily Christian themes, and because spirituality at my time is universal. And I believe if you take that element away from minutes outside of Ramallah, sometimes you're not a town authentically represented as a human being, sort of de facto. So I've done a Palestinian, but it's a rural village and Islamic theology. There's many of them in Palestine, and when I actually came to research from her rural farmhouse at the bottom the first thing you do is have a look on the internet, try and find it, and Khadija's life changes forever. It was almost impossible to find this town. It's like they don't exist on maps. In the wake of upheaval and ruin, maps, she draws upon her deeply rooted Palestinian heritage. My family still live there to discover a life. I'm trying to sort of research this book, a classic coming of age novel, and then I'm trying to find its place in the world, and it's literally as though it doesn't exist. So this is a little section of Khadija when she's young. She's to say, yes, this is the one I'm writing, because she's looking out of the window and there's life there, and my family live there, and she's watching the birds, and I really wanted to explore that. So sometimes, say with this book, there was another bird she had seen, but she wasn't sure if it was real or not. I just felt no one gets to see it. Sometimes she believed she caught sight of the bird in the tree outside her window. It never chirped or frolicked with the others. It just sat there amidst the highest branches, camouflaging itself in the leaves, but through the dark green, Khadija could see that it wasn't like the rest. Still recognizable. She often wondered where this bird had come
it's amazing.
from.
I also see like the Palestinian writers, they're doing a great job preserving the history of Palestine as well.
Their souls lived in the bellies of green birds in paradise.
It's like
in Palestine,
it's changing so rapidly, and so in a volatile
it gives you
manner so you really have to amazing. I mean, really write fast as much as you can.
She's a young girl, but already she has
people have something to come back and say, it wasn't like this.
It's her journey of finding herself amidst that. It's set in the backdrop of the occupation, which is actually where the town is. It's surrounded by occupation. You have an army turret. It's cut off really from most of the land around it. And when we were there, a young boy was shot, and it's so common that it doesn't even make the news. So there's a lot in here which is based on my experiences in Palestine. So for this book, we've actually put an afterword in, which actually explains where some of the stories, where they've originated from. Because with the tower, that was based on migrants coming to the UK, and I just was so heartbroken by the little boy that died, and so many that have died on the way, and just the response that's received. And because so many of my books are rooted in real injustice, I've actually included an afterword in this one, just to let the readers know where these stories are coming from, because so many of mine are based on the truth.
No, mashallah, it looks really nice. But I have one more question, like the title of the book, The Land Beneath the Light, if you can throw some light on that. It's really intriguing.
Yes, well, the land is what's so important in this book, the physical land, the piece of land, and also what the land produces and why it produces it, and why it's so key. I've actually quoted Mahmoud Darwish, who's a famous Palestinian poet, and he wrote a poem called To Our Land, and it is one as tiny as a sesame seed. And I think that's really incredible to capture it, because it's so small, yet it's so thought over. And I'm sure many people wonder, why is it so important? Why is it the land? So the land is really key in this book. And Beneath the Light is sort of a reference, without giving too much away. It's a reference to that there's more than this earth. There is more above the heavens. There is something else. It isn't just about this earth and this world.
There's something beyond.
There's something beyond.
And I think that's the intriguing factor about Palestinians as well. There's something which is so fascinating and that keeps them going. And what is it?
Exactly. And you will find out when you're in the book.
Yes, I want to really tell all my audience and your viewers and all the people who are your fans as well, that go and buy both the books.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
The girl, who stitched the stars.
Yeah, well, I was just going to show you some images in it, just so you can see the trees.
If you can lift it up a little bit, because I cannot see. Yeah.
Let me find the trees pages. So,
wow, this looks so amazing, mashallah.
It's so beautifully illustrated by Sarah and Natalie Willard. She has worked unbelievably hard on the illustrations in this book, and it really does show. And it was just amazing to have the UNESCO listing at the same time, because it really showed that now on a world stage the importance of this preservation is so key. So I'm just going
to, and I really like this fact that I learned today, that every village have their patterns,
Yeah. So this shows you that the land, you've got the wheat fields here, and a lot of the trees in the dresses represent the land. It represents the wheat, it represents the cypress trees, and it represents stars, which is similar to my pattern here.
Yeah. No, it's really beautiful, mashallah. I like that concept that even if you drive people out of it, they still have something to hold on to, and that they preserve their, art and forms.
Yeah, and you can actually discover a lot more. I did some events with To Trees and Tea. Wonderful. It's done by Wafa. And she is just incredible. I mean, she's working in the Smithsonian Museum on the preservation of Palestinian trees. And, they go into the archives, they look at everything, they get donations from old dresses. And it really is an absolutely huge project to preserve the history of it. And you can learn it. She does the stitching circles to teach people. And actually, when I was in Palestine, a lot of the maps of old Palestinian towns are created in the embroidery of each section of where they come from, making up the map. So it really opened up this whole world for me, where I've discovered just as much about it than, I mean, I didn't know a great deal before I started the journey, but as I got more and more into it, it's something I've just, learned so much about. It's really incredible.
Now I learned a lot from this interview as well. About, and I will learn more from the books as well. So thank you so much, for writing, for creating this awareness, and more people will learn about the Palestinian history and the villages and what's happening. And also it gives like a light into the, view of the inside world of the people, or what dreams the children dream there, how is like the young girls thinking there.
That is exactly, you've absolutely got it. That is exactly what it is. And it's something that people don't get to see. And people say, oh, how did you start doing it? And I've said it a few times, but when I was in Jericho, walking around the street, staying in my family's houses, and the tourist buses pull in, and the tourists that even are blessed enough to visit, come off the bus, take a photo of a monument, surrounded by security, get back on the bus and drive off. And you just, even if you physically travel, you still don't get to see the real Palestine. And that really is my passion. And also, it being steeped in Islamic theology, it doesn't make sense to represent something and take away that whole Islamic theology away from it, because I don't feel that you would understand why people stay in Palestine and why they fight for Palestine the way they do if you remove the faith element. So that's there as well.
Yeah. No, it's really amazing. I am so excited to read the book. So inshallah, I think it will come soon on, Kindle and Amazon, and I think Book Depository as well. So people can order it worldwide.
Yes, it's available now, Amazon worldwide, all major bookstores, both of them are, and the Kindle edition will be available soon, inshallah.
So thank you so much, Shereen. I wish you all the best. May you achieve, the pinnacles of success, and, you're there everywhere. Love your work. And the amount of love that you put in your work, it shows. So I wish that people see that,
Thank you. That's lovely.
Thank you so much.